Okay, so today we're going to unpack this really short, really strange animation. It kind of feels like a modern-day fable, you know? It starts out simple enough, with a farmer and a pigeon, but trust me, it ends somewhere, well, somewhere truly bizarre.
And the whole story really boils down to this one powerful question. Just how far can hunger push a person? As you're about to see, the answer is probably a lot further than you think, and into some pretty dark territory.
All right, so let's dive in. Let's meet our main character and his big problem. And this isn't just about feeling a little peckish. This is an insatiable hunger. It's a craving that feels like it's coming from somewhere much deeper and much darker.
So the story kicks off with this farmer who is just completely consumed by this ravenous hunger. His first move is pretty extreme. He goes to his chicken's nest, takes every single egg, and cooks himself one gigantic omelet. It's a real all-or-nothing kind of move.
He wolfs down the whole thing, and nothing. It changes absolutely nothing. He's still hungry. And this is our first big clue, that this isn't just a physical craving, right? It's like this deeper, bottomless void that food alone just can't fill.
So where do you even go from there? Well, this leads us to the second part of our story, the coercion of the pigeon. With that hunger still just raging inside him, the farmer's desperation starts to twist into something else entirely, something much darker, cruelty. And this is where the story takes a sharp turn into the surreal. The farmer confronts a pigeon, a bird that, doesn't really lay eggs for people to eat, and he demands that it lay eggs for him. His hunger is so intense that it's actually making him break from reality, from the basic laws of nature. And the craziest part, it works. Not through magic or anything, but just through sheer terror. The farmer's threat is so real, so intense, that the pigeon, completely against its own nature, starts producing this mountain of eggs. It's like, in this world, brute force can literally bend reality.
So let's just quickly recap how we got here, right? Step 1, the giant omelet, total failure. Step 2, the hunger is still there. Step 3, he terrorizes a poor pigeon into giving him an unnatural amount of eggs. And then step 4, he finally makes and eats a burger. The hunger is finally gone. Or is it?
And this is where things really start to shift. This is the story's turning point, the consequence of greed. Because, let's be real, getting what you want, especially when you get it by force, it rarely ends well.
And here is the central irony of the whole story. I mean, on the one hand, mission accomplished. The farmer is finally full. But the result isn't satisfaction or relief, it's immediate agony. This intense pain just rips through his stomach. So he didn't cure his hunger, he just traded it for pain. So how does the farmer react to this pain that he brought on himself? He lashes out. He doesn't stop and think about his greed or his crazy actions. Nope. Instead, he blames the source of his meal. He hits the pigeon and chases it away. He's punishing the very creature he bullied into solving his problem.
And that's kind of where the main arc of the fable ends, with this quiet, just heartbreaking image. The pigeon, who is the victim from start to finish, is just left there, crying. It's a sad, totally unjust ending. But the story isn't quite done with us yet.
And that brings us to the final and maybe weirdest part of this whole thing. Is this story even finished? Because just when you think you've figured out the moral of the story, it takes a hard left turn into the truly bizarre.
The very last line of the animation is, the no, like, subscribe. What? It completely shatters the fourth wall. After this dark, timeless little fable, we're suddenly hit with the language of a modern YouTuber. It's jarring, it's weird, and it honestly feels a little bit like a threat.
So what are we supposed to make of all this? Is it a simple story about how greed just leads to suffering, or does that final line completely reframe everything? Maybe the farmer's insatiable hunger isn't for food at all, but for attention, for views. And maybe his coercion of the pigeon is kind of like the pressure to constantly produce content. This strange little tale doesn't really give us an easy answer, but it forces us to ask, in our world today, what is the real price of feeding?